Global tragedy. A devastating Russian attack has taken down an American pilot in Ukraine. In recent days, shocking confirmation has come from the United States regarding the impact and scale of the latest Russian attack in Ukraine, where 5 F-16 fighter jets were destroyed at the Starokostiantynivka Air Base. What was initially reported as the destruction of 4 aircraft has been corrected, increasing the number to 5 fighter jets lost in this operation, which is a crushing blow to both the weakened Ukrainian Air Force and Western interests. Additionally, the death of an American pilot has been confirmed, a loss deeply mourned by the US government, and one that marks a grim precedent for those involved in the conflict. The American pilot, identified as Stephen Parker, was part of the foreign instructor program and lost his life during the Russian attack. Russian forces used MiG-31K fighter jets equipped with Kinzhal hypersonic missiles that precisely struck the fortified hangars of the Ukrainian base, eliminating the aircraft and their crews. The destruction was total, affecting not only the F-16 fighter jets but also personnel valuable to the operation, including Parker himself, an experienced pilot and instructor. Parker's wife expressed her grief and frustration over the loss, lamenting her husband's decision to join the conflict as part of the team of foreign instructors in Ukraine. "Stephen died for something that made no sense," she stated, visibly shaken by the tragedy. Despite being hundreds of miles from the Russian border, Parker found himself in what was literally the line of fire when Russian missiles hit the airfield where he was stationed. His wife expressed anger towards both Ukraine and Russia, cursing the war and the situation that took her husband from her forever. Stephen Parker was not just a pilot, but a highly skilled mechanic, specializing in F-16S, C-130S, and the C-5 Galaxy strategic transport aircraft, making him a key figure in the air operation. His loss represents a severe blow, not only to the Ukrainian Air Force, but also to NATO and the international effort to support Ukraine in the conflict against Russia. His death sends an implicit warning to all NATO personnel near combat zones, even if they are not directly on the front lines. This attack has been a reminder that, despite being far from the territorial front, Ukrainian air bases are priority targets for Russian missiles. In particular, the Kinzhal missiles, which were used in this operation, are capable of penetrating even the most reinforced structures, completely destroying their interior. The attack has been confirmed by various local media and government sources, who are now reporting the destruction of 5 F-16 fighter jets, a figure that is already being widely accepted by analysts and conflict observers. A notable aspect of this attack was the careful planning by Russian forces. Before launching the hypersonic missiles, Russia deployed a wave of Geran-2 drones, forcing Ukrainian air defenses to activate and consequently to withdraw their F-16S into protected hangars. This tactic allowed Russian forces to concentrate their attacks on the reinforced structures, eliminating the aircraft with minimal missile use, but maximum effectiveness. The Kinzhals, due to their penetration capability and speed, proved devastating against hangars that, in theory, should have withstood conventional bombing. The outcome of this attack has been both a symbolic and practical blow. The destruction of the F-16S, which were considered one of Ukraine's main strategic assets to improve its air capability, has left the country's Air Force in an even more precarious situation. These aircraft, which had been provided and equipped with international assistance, especially from the United States, failed to counter the Russian attacks, which has raised doubts about their effectiveness in a high-intensity conflict like the one in Ukraine. This is not the first time that Ukraine has suffered significant losses in its F-16 fleet. In early September, several units had already been destroyed during another massive Russian attack. On that occasion, the location of the aircraft was accidentally revealed during a propaganda video featuring the then chief of the Ukrainian Air Force, which resulted in a disaster for Ukrainian forces. Military propaganda in Ukraine has lost several of its media heroes, like the famous pilot nicknamed Mullfish, who was also shot down in combat, delivering a heavy blow to the country's morale. With the attacks of September 26, 2024, the situation has become even more critical for Ukraine. As the destruction of 5 F-16S is confirmed and the death of an American pilot, it is becoming increasingly clear that these fighters, while powerful, are not prepared for the kind of war being waged in Ukraine. The hopes placed on the F-16S, both by Ukraine and its Western allies, are fading fast, as the aircraft have failed to play the crucial role expected of them in this conflict. Despite their advanced capabilities, the F-16S have not had the opportunity to engage directly in aerial combat due to the strategic and technological superiority of Russian forces. The drones and hypersonic missiles employed by Russia have radically changed the dynamics of air warfare, putting traditional defenses and fighters like the F-16 at a clear disadvantage. This reality raises serious doubts about the viability of continuing to use these fighters in the conflict, and calls into question Ukrainian air defense strategies and their ability to withstand future Russian offensives. In short, the death of American pilot Stephen Parker and the destruction of 5 F-16 fighter jets represent a devastating blow to Ukraine and its allies. The conflict in Ukraine has proven to be far more complex and deadly than many anticipated, and the involvement of international forces, while crucial, also comes at a high cost. The war continues to intensify, and the latest Russian attack is a reminder that the tactics and technologies employed in this conflict continue to evolve, rendering many traditional methods and equipment obsolete.